Good morning, and welcome to United First Parish Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey, welcome to our Unitarian Universalist spiritual community. We gather today on the traditional lands of the Neponset Band of the Massachusetts people, a people who have lived here for generations and who live here now. I'm G. Fred Shepherd, and I'm the worship associate today. I use the pronouns he, him, and his. Friends from near and far, here in person or via live stream, longtime members and friends and newcomers alike, welcome to each and all. First-time visitors or returning newcomers, if you're comfortable, go ahead and raise your hand or rise so that we might offer you a small token of welcome. We are glad you are here, and we hope you and everyone present today will join us in a social hour in the parish hall following the service. Our worship team this morning includes Albert as a greeter, Bill and Marilyn as ushers. Our guest musician today is Megan Henderson. She's a pianist, educator, choral director, composer, and longtime resident of Boston. The flowers are done by Pat and Katie and Claire. And Carl is on live stream, backed up by Jordan. We strive to be a welcoming community to people of all ages and abilities. In the back of the sanctuary, near our ushers, you will find hearing assistance headsets, large print hymnals, and also children's books, busy bags, and drawing materials that families are welcome to bring with them to their seats. We have handicapped accessible bathrooms on our lower level with elevator access. Please see a greeter or usher if you need to use the restroom during the service. As we prepare ourselves for worship, let us take a deep breath together, feeling the spirit of life and love that moves within, between, and beyond us all. I invite John Senchak to share a reading as we light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith.
This reading is The End is the Beginning by Katie Silvani Gelfand. We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally end with our ritual extinguishing, we fear not its end. For we know with brave hearts that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning.
Now please rise as you are willing and able and join in the reading of our congregation's covenant. The words are found in your order of service. As a free fellowship of this historic church, we unite to lift our hearts and open our minds to a larger reality, to accept, support, and encourage one another, to seek the wisdom in all religions, to cherish and sustain the web of life, and to strive for justice, compassion, and peace. And now, let us greet one another in the spirit of fellowship and peace. As we remain standing in body or spirit, let us lift our voices in song with hymn 361, which is in the gray hymnal. Enter, rejoice, and commend.
Now it's time for our message for all ages. So I invite our children and Spirit Circle teachers and parents, if they like, to come forward to these front pews here for the message for all ages. Hello. 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 Got it. So my name is Parsley, and I'm the Ministerial Intern, and that means I'm learning how to be a minister. And Reverend Rebecca is teaching me, and all the congregation, including you, are helping me learn, because I need to practice. You know how that goes. But Reverend Rebecca left me her mystery basket. So, what do you think is in the mystery basket today?
A bunch of leaves.
A bunch of leaves. What kind of leaves? All sorts of different leaves and acorns. All right. Take a few if you want. All right. And remember, we don't eat acorns. They are nuts, but trust me on this, they taste awful. Absolutely awful. Squirrels like them. People don't. You've done an acorn, yes, and you can take it home and give it to a squirrel or plant it and grow a tree if you like. Just don't eat it, all right? You can have some leaves too if you like. Maybe you pass this. So, today we're going to talk about trees. And first we're going to talk a little bit about tomorrow, which is the autumn equinox. An equinox is a fancy word. It means equal night. Because tomorrow there will be 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night. And that only happens twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. Because in the spring, the days start getting longer and longer, and there's more light than darkness. And then in the summer, it's light so long, there's not a lot of darkness, and you have to go to bed when it's still light out. And then the days start getting shorter, and in the autumn, they're getting shorter a lot. There's less and less light. And after tomorrow, there will be less light than there will be day. There will be dark. And so it gets dark, dark, dark. And in the winter, there's more dark than there is light, and you might have to get up and eat your breakfast in the dark. But it's always going to come back again. And the light will get longer and longer and longer, and summer will come back. It's a cycle, right? And this cycle of the light and the dark is really important for the trees, because you and I have a day and light cycle. We get up in the morning when it's light, and we go to bed when it's dark. But the trees, it's all year. So right now, it's getting darker and darker, and the trees are getting ready to go to bed for the winter. And they're going to sleep all winter because it's too dark. They can't do anything. And then when the spring equinox comes, their light gets better, and the trees wake up, and they start making new leaves, and they start making blossoms. And then all summer, they bask in the sunlight, and it's nice and light, and all the beautiful green leaves are making food for the trees out of the sunlight. And then it starts getting darker. And right about now, in the autumn equinox, the trees go, uh-oh, we better hurry up. We have to ripen the apples. We have to ripen the nuts so the people can have the apples to eat and the squirrels can have the acorns to eat. And we got to get this all done before it gets too dark. And the leaves are changing color now because they're using up all their strength to do that and help the tree. Got to harvest all the plants too. It's not just the trees, right? All the plants in your garden are like, there's no more light. We need to grow and finish and be harvested. You're right. There's often a harvest festival. So we're going to think about the trees. You can take that acorn home and plant it and grow a tree. It'll take a long time, but you can if you want to. All right. So anyone have a question about a tree or an acorn or an equinox? Nope? All right. Then I think it's time for you to go downstairs for your spirit circle with Marie Louise. All right. And for the rest of us, just sing On Your Way. So, with the words found in your order of service, let's sing the children on their way. Now is the time in our service where we share our joys and sorrows. And through the sharing of our joys and sorrows, we create a sacred space where we are deeply present with ourselves and with one another. This is a time to briefly share the life milestones that lift your spirits in joy or hope, or the pains and losses that fill you with heartache. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, please come forward, share your name, and speak from this microphone. If you would rather stay in your seat, alternatively, you can raise your hand, and the usher will bring you the microphone, and you can speak from there. As we begin our sharing, we light a candle of joy, knowing that a joy shared is a joy magnified. And we also light a candle of sorrow, knowing that a sorrow shared is a burden lightened. So now let us open our hearts to one another. Thank you all for sharing. And as we end our sharing, we light a final candle representing all the joys and sorrows that we choose to hold silently within our hearts. May the light of these candles and the compassion of this community remind us that wherever we are in our journeys, we are each worthy of love, and we are each able to love. Join me now in a time of meditation and prayer. Let us return to that deep breath of life and love that is always there to ground and guide us. Let us take a deep breath together, relaxing. Let us take a deep breath together as we share a moment of silence. As our Jewish siblings in faith, within and beyond our congregation, are preparing to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, our prayer today includes words by Israel Bafardi and Kate Lohr. Will you lift your hearts and join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation, listening in these words for the language of faith that is most meaningful to you? Tomorrow night marks the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, which commemorates the creation of the world. Each new year is seen as an opportunity for a new creation, a time to refresh and recreate ourselves and our communities, a new opportunity to fulfill our hopes and dreams for a better world. Eternal Presence, known by many names, known in many ways, Great Spirit of life and love, as a new year begins, we turn inward to reflect about the state of our lives. What lessons have we learned in the past year, and which new ones now call us forward? To whom do we still owe an apology or an expression of thanks? And with whom must we draw fresh boundaries? As we pause from our regular rhythms of rush, 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 we open ourselves to new perspectives and possibilities. We give thanks for these moments and for the wisdom they afford us. May they help bring us together in the sacred dynamics of life so that we, as individuals and as members of this community, might reach our full potential. As we step across this threshold, let this new year be a year of greater awe and gratitude, of deeper kindness and acceptance, and more courageous acts of conviction. For a kinder, more equitable, and more sustainable world is not only possible, she is on her way. And in the quietness of this sacred community, we can hear her breathing. Source of our being, source of our goodness, we pray this for love's sake. Amen, and blessed be. Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn number 1011 in the blue hymnal, Return Again. This hymn is in 2 short parts. We sing the first part twice, and then we sing the second part twice. Our reading today is by Eric Martinez Resley, and it comes from a book called Becoming, which is a collection of essays and poems for young adults. And it's entitled Found While Lost. The beauty of the world is the mouth of a labyrinth, writes Simone Weil. We would be foolish not to follow its call. And so we enter the labyrinth, lured by the whiff of a dream still in the making, the possibility of a new relationship, the promise of a new career, the potential for a new beginning. We can never be sure what we will find once we go inside the labyrinth. But this much is certain: there will be times when the beauty of the world, and with it the entrance to the labyrinth, disappears. Some relationships will disintegrate. Some careers will dissatisfy. Some beginnings will disappoint. Unable to find the labyrinth's opening, we often find ourselves in a frantic search for the escape, fumbling for the next step, tiring ourselves out in the process, disheartened, dispirited. We feel disoriented. We get lost. The question is not whether we will get lost in life, but rather how we will move through it in faith when that happens. Will we dwell on everything we have lost? Or will we focus instead on everything that we have yet to find? As it happens, there is much that awaits us in that lostness, much to be excavated, examined, even exalted. In not yet knowing what will be, we are afforded the opportunity to appreciate what already is, the things hiding in plain sight. A frayed relationship may reveal our deeper needs. An unfulfilling career may motivate us to seek out a mentor. A misstart or a misstep may remind us of our own fragile humanity. It may claw open our hearts and sensitize us to the suffering of others. When lost, perhaps the greatest question our faith asks of us is this: how will we be found? Once the time is ripe, the stars align, and the way begins to open again, will we be ready to embrace the mystery anew? Will we choose to trust anew, to risk anew, to hope anew? Will we allow ourselves to yet again be drawn in, swept up, taken over by that magic that makes life worth living? In the words of Simone Weil, if we do not lose courage, if we go on walking, it is absolutely certain that we will finally arrive at the center of the labyrinth. And there, God is waiting. For many of us, for many people, September is a time of new beginnings. For anyone who is a student or a teacher or who has children or grandchildren in school, this is the time for starting the new school year with all the challenges and all the delights of learning. We get to meet the new classmates, write our names in empty notebooks, or figure out how to use online learning platforms. And for us Unitarian Universalists, it's also the beginning of the church year. We get to see some friends whom we might not have seen all summer and return to the familiar spaces and rituals which bring us comfort and joy and renew our covenants with each other. For me, this September is both of those things in spades. I've just started my second year of graduate school, working toward my master's in divinity at Meadville-Lombard, which is the Unitarian Universalist Seminary in Chicago, so online learning platform. Long ago and far away, I earned a master's degree in education, and I was a teacher for almost 30 years. And now I'm a student again. It's a lot of fun. And here I am beginning the new role as your ministerial intern, creating new covenants with new friends and new colleagues. I have been welcomed here with kindness and good cheer, and I thank you all for helping me get off to a really good new beginning. School years and church years are not the only things that begin in September. Tomorrow is the autumn equinox, the official beginning of autumn. The days are getting shorter, and the rate at which they are changing is at its fastest right now. It's easy to see the changes in the world around you. Tomorrow night is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, which is the civil new year in the Jewish calendar. In Jewish tradition, Rosh Hashanah is a time to reflect on the lessons that we learned in the past year and the possibilities for change and growth in the new year. And the idea is to actively plan for some change and some growth. Because we are not perfect people living in a perfect world, in perfect lives, in perfect order, and there is always room for improvement. When I was 15, I started thinking about how to make friends and how to be a good friend. And I reasoned that I did not want to be friends with people who were dishonest. So that meant if I wanted to have people accept me as a friend, I should be honest. I decided to be honest in all things, in all ways, at all times. Yeah. I was 15. It wasn't very long before my mother wisely suggested that if my goal was to make friends, I would do well to cultivate tact in addition to honesty. So I had to adjust my plan for self-improvement. Change and growth can be unexpectedly challenging, even when we're optimistically working for something that we know will be good for us and we hope will be good for other people, and we're trying to transform ourselves for the better. Still, sometimes it gets difficult. Then there are the times when it seems like there is nothing new under the sun. When you reflect on your life and you yawn, and you find yourself bored and in a rut. That's also a lesson. That's also an opportunity. It's time to do something new, because life is too short to be bored. So go out and learn to juggle. Start a conversation with that fellow who works at the coffee shop and wears that really interesting necklace. Ask the lady with the petition at the farmer's market to really explain in detail what she's on about and why you should sign that petition. She's trying to change something. Might be something you'd like to change too. Don't wait around. Go out and make some good change happen, whether it's just for yourself or for everybody around you. If you really hate being bored, go make some good trouble. Join the petition lady and help her organize a rally to go along with the petitions. Bend that arc of justice just a little bit more. There are plenty of opportunities for that these days. And there are plenty of people around here who would be happy to help you if someone would just get started. Someone would just begin. But change isn't always for the better, right? Change can also come unexpectedly when we don't want it and we're not ready for it, and it can come so fast that we get overwhelmed. A layoff, a bad diagnosis, an unfair change in the law. Things we can't control. And it can make us scared or angry or anxious that we won't be able to cope, that we'll let people down. We might find ourselves longing for a nice, boring life where nothing ever changes much, because it would be so much easier that way. Change is going to happen whether we like it or not. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Sometimes gradually, manageably, sometimes all at once. When the rate of change is fast and furious and we feel like it's too much to handle and we're afraid we can't cope, we need to take a deep breath and ask for help. We need friends. We need community, resources, kind words, patience, grace. And since we know that sooner or later we will need these things, we should remember that other people will also need these things. They also get overwhelmed when there's too much change coming in too fast. And they feel scared or angry or anxious. And that might create some friction between us, but if they aren't ready to take the deep breath and ask for help, we could take the deep breath and ask, do you need any help? Some of them may not like to show it when they're scared and angry and anxious, but they could still use a kind word or a bit of patience from us, or a friendly offer to help with their tasks, or a reminder that they are loved and they are worthy of love, even if they're not the same person that they used to be, because they're changing. On any given day, some of us are wrestling with unwanted changes. At the same time, some of us are enthusiastically working towards long-desired changes. And when we're at one of those points in our lives, hoping for transformation, filled with joy in the process, we have an opportunity. Even though we're very busy with all the work involved in that exciting new beginning, our joyful enthusiasm itself is something we can share with others. It can be a resource for them. It can inspire them to attempt whatever change it is they have long desired but have been afraid to begin. And while some of us are struggling with change, and some of us are hoping for change, some of us are temporarily at rest. The rate of change in our lives is so slow, it feels non-existent. Maybe it's not boring, it's comfortable for a while. And that is when we can most easily spare some energy and time to help those who have gotten lost in their own labyrinths. Maybe they tried to change their lives and it didn't work out the way they hoped. Maybe they were thrust into change against their will and have no idea where they're going. We likely can't make their problems disappear, but if we walk with them in love, We can help them find their way to the center of their own personal labyrinth and find peace. That is one of the greatest gifts we can give to each other, the gift of our loving presence in times of distress. Who has given you that gift in the past? Have you thanked them for it recently? Who do you know right now that could use the gift of your loving presence? Remember the words of our covenant. We unite to accept, support, and encourage one another. No time like the present. Change can start when you notice something small that you never paid attention to before, and as you think about it, your mind and your heart slowly open and you see the world in a new way. Change can crash into your life and force you to confront something about yourself that you do not like. The rate of change in the world around you can be so fast it feels as if you can't keep up, or so slow that you get really impatient. But change will happen. Change is always happening. And that's a good thing overall, because we aren't perfect yet, and we never will be. And we don't know everything. And this world isn't perfect either. There's always something we can do to make change for the better. So as we sang earlier this morning, don't be afraid of some change, right? Spiritual growth, all growth, depends on change. Anytime you learn something, you open yourself to change. And speaking as a teacher, I am unshakably sure that everyone is capable of learning. Everyone is capable of growing. None of us will ever be perfect, but we aren't stuck with being what we are and where we are right now forever, if we don't want to be. Learning, growing, and transformation are vital to the adventure of being human. Please rise now in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 100 in the gray hymnal, Peace Like a River.
We drink from wells we did not dig, and we worship in a sanctuary we did not build. As a voluntary association, our church is sustained through the gifts of our members and friends. Your generosity supports the upkeep and maintenance of this beautiful building, our music program, which includes guest musicians, our choir, and hopefully soon a music director. It also supports our visitors program and the prison book program. You can give online by going to ufpc.org and clicking on the donate button, or by placing a contribution in the offering plate, which will soon be passed. If this is your first time worshiping with us, please let the offering plate pass you by. Your presence here today is your gift to us, and we hope you will join us following the service for social hour. May the ushers come forward for the morning offering to support the good works of United First Parish Church. May it be joyfully given. Note that it will be gratefully received. I'd like to note that that piece you just heard is by our guest musician today, Megan. It was wonderful. Thank you. Here at United First Parish Church, we gather in many ways to nourish the spirit, nourish community, put our faith into action, and participate in the life and leadership of our congregation. You can read about our upcoming programs in your order of service, but I'd like to highlight that today during social hour, there will be a committee fair with tables set up in the parlor by various church committees to explain any opportunities or what they do. Please check them out. And I'd also like to note that next Sunday, first of all, our service music will be provided by a group of our members that are calling themselves the UFPC Musical Friends. I look forward to that very much. And also, after the service, there'll be a newcomer orientation hosted by Reverend Rebecca and a member of our Board of Governors for anybody who's interested in learning more about our church or interested in membership. In the future, on October 26th, we'll have the farewell service for Norman Corey, who served as our music director for 43 years. His family will join him, and I look forward to that service also. And then, on November 1st, Shiloh Hoffman, who was our previous ministerial intern, will be ordained right here in our sanctuary at 3 p.m. That's a Saturday afternoon. Now, please rise as you are willing and able, and place your hand over your heart for our benediction. That's Anne's part.
The words of our benediction today are by Emily Richards. May you be changed. May you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation everywhere you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together, becoming our better selves. Amen, and blessed be. Now please turn toward the center aisle and join me in singing our chalice extinguishing words as we offer one another a mutual benediction. Thank you. Our service is ended, but our service to the greater community outside our doors goes on. Blessed be.
Nice congregation. Sheesh. Lovely.